Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create digital portrait of a common person like you and me. So here comes my sweet subscriber. So I'm going to create digital portrait of her. So first I just imported the image and just duplicated the layer to create a small reference. I will tell you later why I do so, because the main reference, using that we can trace all those things, and in that case while tracing I keep the reference as with reduced opacity. So when I choose color I should go back, increase the opacity, and then color pick. I have to do all those things. So instead I just duplicating the layer and making the small reference so I can color pick very easily. That's why I created a small reference there. So here I'm drawing the outline of for the digital portrait in a separate layer. So I'm using dip pen hard brush for that, and here for the eyebrows it will start not like a edge thing, so we want it to be like a gradual eyebrow. So for that I just erased using airbrush eraser for in the both tip of the eyebrows. So now I'm going to draw the eyes. So you don't want to make a big stroke or something like that. Make a small strokes, and with the reduced thickness of the brush really works better. And also use force fade available below the stabilizer to create look like this, these strokes like this, that how I made. So that's how I make. And here I'm drawing the lips, not exactly, I'm not drawing the full shape without a gap or something like that. I'm making small strokes. So for face shape I'm making the big strokes. So now I'm adding hair details and face details. So next, neck, here you can see near the forehead the hair is not like thick, something like that, not like that. So I'm making small strokes, small hair strokes to create like a real hair thing. So now I'm tracing her hair shapes, not exactly the same but approximately. Make sure you don't have any gaps in between the strokes, or otherwise the entire layer become black. So then for the body part I'm not going to draw full body, I'm just making it like a cute digital portrait. So I just making these shapes. Instead, if you want to see full shape you can do that like that. So I feel like some shapes here and there are feeling clumsy, so I'm just erasing and redoing it properly. So now I'm creating the new layer and naming the outline layer as outline and the new layer as a base color. So what the base color is, that this is the base color which going to be at the background for the entire portrait. So I'm choosing a color of her skin which is not too bright and not too dark, between the medium color, and I'm going to make the color variation, dark color, highlights, everything from that one color itself. You can see I have chosen and created a gradient color like this. So one color for the highlight, and next comes the base color, and the all other three dark shades are for her highlight. So if you should see the face, we can we can see so many different color shades are available with different darkness. So for that purpose I just chosen 3 shadow colors. So here you can see I using the base color that I selected from her face, I just created the face shape using that, and the brush I used is dip pen hard. And I forgot to add the eye details in the outline layer, so I just went back to the outline layer and made that eyes. So here you can see her face is done, and for the cloth I have chosen a medium blue color from her cloth itself and doing this. And for the hands, like, no, I'm not making it a transparent one, instead I'm using a lighter blue color for that. So everything is ready with the base color. So I'm going to create a new color and choose the darker shade that I have chosen from the base color. So this is going to be the darker shade, that darker shadow that is available on her face. So wherever I can find the darker parts in her face and body, I'm going to use this color, and I'm using lasso fill tool available under the special tool to create this. This tool is very helpful for me to create the digital portraits. You can see how easy, we don't need to struggle with the brushes. Instead you can use the lasso fill tool, and within a second you can do all those things. So here you can see wherever I can find the darker shapes, shadow details, I'm filling that part alone with this. So this layer comes above the base layer. Whatever we are doing now, it's going to come above the base layer. We're not going to disturb the base layer. And when we use the something like a less shadow dark color that I've chosen, I'm going to create a new layer, but that layer is going to come below the shadow 1 layer. So this is shadow 2 layer, and the color is little bit lighter compared to the dark color that we have used already. So I'm just making this layer below that. You can understand why, because while blending all them together, we will get that gradual details, and keeping the layer below the dark shadow layer helps and works really well to know where the details we have to apply, all these things. So here you can see this little bit dark color. Wherever you can find the little bit dark color and the gradient darkness, use that color over there. Here you can see exactly what I'm doing. So at the for the T zone, it's going to be like a really bright thing, cheek going to be brighter. For that things, I'm going to use the highlights. Other than that, at the corners of the face, I'm going to use the darker colors, as well as where you can find the smile lines, all those things, I'm going to use the darker colors. So now I have chosen this shadow 3 layer, created the shadow 3 layer and chosen the shadow 3 color. This is a little bit darker than our main base color. So here you can see wherever you can find very mild darkness, like almost like a skin color. I'm using this over there because this color helps to blend them all together. You can see how it helps. So now I'm adding all those details here. So everything is ready. Now I'm going to create a new layer, which is highlight. Here, wherever you want the highlight, add those highlights there, and this layer is going to be above all these shadow layers. So you can see here in the T zone, and in the cheeks, and in the chin, and near the neck, all those areas wherever you can find the bright color, a sharp glossy texture, you're going to use that highlight color over there. So here it is. You can really understand how it works. So everything is ready. Now I'm going to duplicate all these shadow highlight layers because we want a reference. If you want to make any changes, you can just go to that layer immediately and do that. So I just duplicated the layer and separated them alone and put them inside a folder. This is only for the reference purpose. We're not going to do anything with that. If you want to change, we can immediately go to that reference and do the changes and all those things. So now I just went back to shadow 3 layer, and using the blur option under the filter, I just blurred it. the entire layer, like around 14 pixel. Now I'm going to do the same thing with all those layers for the shadow 2 layer, shadow 1 layer, shadow 3 layer, everything, as well as to the highlight layer. Here also I'm not going to touch the base color layer. So here you can see they blended all together. So I didn't merge them yet. So this is how they blend. If you find it is perfectly good, everything is okay, you can merge them all, highlight all the layer together then. So now without the lips details it looks really blurry, unclear. We can't predict whether it is good, so I'm adding the lips details. So here you can see I have chosen the lips color. Here I just chosen 3 shades, one with the darker shade, and created new layer below that to add little bit darker layer and then a light layer. So here you can see I just made a light layer and a little bit of highlights here. So now I'm going to merge all these layers together, lips layer together, and going to click on the alpha lock and then click the blur blur tool to blur the lips, so it's look really blended now. So now the entire portrait is 80% ready. So here you can see I have saved this as lips. So one more detail is missing, that is the eyes. So I just created a new eyes layer and using something with a reference, I just made some lighter color, and as before I just created layers of details, bright color at the center and darker color at the corners, and then I just created the clicked the alpha lock button and blurred it. So now everything is ready for the cloth. I'm going to add the details. Now I just create another layer above the base color layer and adding the cloth details, not more detailed, not that much detail. I'm just making a little bit details, and then as before I'm using the blur, Gaussian blur available at the filter. Now everything is ready and perfect. So one more thing we have to do is the highlight for the hair. So the hair looks really blank and empty, like a simple black color. So I'm going to add some hair details since her hair is more shinier. I'm just going to choose something like a bluish gray color to add that glossy look for the hair. I'm using Airbrush for this, and with the force fade tool on, I'm adding the details. So not too much details, just a little bit, and I just reduce the opacity of the brush as well to create this look. So now everything is ready. So I'm going to apply a background color which is like a contrast for the blue, the yellow. So this looks really, and almost ready. The portrait, my super subscriber looks really super in this. So if you like this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.